Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Hypro Filtration podcast, Factoryside Chat. Today's episode will discuss how Hypro Filtration considers and treats our customers as partners for life. My name is Scott Howard, the Strategic Account Manager, and today joining us is Aaron Hoig, Hypro's General Manager. Aaron, good morning. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself and the history with Hypro.
Thanks, Scott. My pleasure to be here. I joined Hypro in 1993. We were 6 people then, and my father had started the business in 1986. We ran it independently until May of 2017 when we became a part of Donaldson. So today I'm the general manager of about a $50 million business unit, and my responsibilities are for Hypro engineering, marketing, finance, customer service, and we're serving the industrial end user market globally and also some OE business. I'm a father of 3, active in soccer. I like golf. I like to fish. And that's me.
Thanks, Aaron. Really appreciate you joining today, and your knowledge is going to be very useful in this conversation. Today, we'd like to talk about partners for life. So when I say that phrase, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of partners for life?
So for Hypro, it's never been just about how many filters can we sell, how big can we grow. For us, it's really been I would say altruistic, and we see our customers as partners where we want to help them be more efficient, be more profitable, and help them meet their sustainability objectives. And we have a lot of different ways that we do that. We have world-class products that we use to achieve our strategies, but it goes way beyond that. The technical support that we provide, the field expertise, whether that's troubleshooting a system or retrofitting something to make it work better. And actually, when we start to work with a new customer, we're looking for ways to help them use fewer filters, which sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but we believe if we take good care of that system, get them to an ideally clean equilibrium for their fluids, we can make their equipment last longer. They can be more productive. They'll have fewer repair and replacements, and we can make the fluids last longer and really deliver them trouble-free operation using fewer filters.
Yes, I agree with you completely that we look at this as a partnership for life with our customers, and one of the ways that we can enhance that relationship is by addressing 2 big concerns that we ask our customers that they should think about at all times, and that is how clean is my oil and how long are my filter elements going to last. We can accomplish both if we look at each system individually and how we can manage the ingression, we can mitigate and control the contaminants that are coming into and being produced in the system so that we can manage their filter usage, their total cost of ownership over an annual basis. And so it does seem a little counterintuitive for the filter manufacturer to say that, hey, we are here to try and minimize your filtration over an annual basis, but that's how we live. We actually are looking to dial in their systems to mitigate and control and manage that contamination before it gets into the system and anything that's generated internally so that they can use less filters on an annual basis. And what do we get out of this is we want to be able to supply all of our products to them that we can, but manage their total cost of ownership on that annual basis. And as a result, if we do our job correctly, like we say we're going to do, then we hope to be a partner for life with this customer. Do you hear feedback from customers when we start this process, and then after a while, a couple years later, what are some of the comments you hear from the sales team or from the customers directly?
Yeah, the feedback that we get is very important, and And it really drives a lot of what we do as we grow. And we get a lot of feedback from different people at different times, but I'm fortunate enough that I get to hear most of it. And so when I coalesce it all together, what I hear from our customers is they really value our expertise. And whether that's, with the strategy we've come up with new products we've developed, how well they perform, the support they get from our field technical people. And that's not just the Hypro salespeople, that's also our distributor partners. When I say we, and I say the things that we do with the customers, I'm always thinking of our salespeople shoulder to shoulder with our distributor salespeople, because that's those are relationships we've had since the beginning, and it really drives a lot of value. And what I hear from our customers is they use fewer filters, their systems don't go down as often, their fluids last longer. They've learned the value of world-class fluid cleanliness and how that can change how efficiently they operate. And really, we hear from them that they save millions of dollars. And so, we know that we're bringing tremendous value to them, because obviously our solutions don't cost millions of dollars, but we're able to save them a lot of money. And, whatever we can do to drive efficiency into manufacturing, and eliminate the waste of industrial fluids and replacement of industrial fluids, and then just the waste of energy, needing to run a factory more to produce the same thing or less. We want these manufacturers to be as efficient as possible. That's something that's really important to us. The other feedback I get is that our customer service team is better than any other team that they encounter, that we work hard for them. We come up with solutions, and they're a pleasure to do business with. So that's just a sample of what I hear, and it's what makes me certain that we're doing the right things, and that we're going to continue to deliver that.
Yes, and to add to that, I take a lot of pride in the distributor partnership that we have, and the level of knowledge and the level of commitment that they show regarding Hypro filtration products at the customer level. It's an extension of us. I think it really does make a difference, and they're very, very important in the entire process of having a partner for life with a customer, with an end user. That also includes the distribution network, and I think we have the best out there. I think a couple things that you hit on I'd like to focus on here is training and education. That is very, very important. We get to visit the customer on a periodic basis, but who is there every day? And that's the technicians at the customer location. And so we really do focus a lot on training and education, so that we can help empower them to be able to not only see the trends through either teaching, lab report analysis, how to acquire accurate samples for accurate data, which is actionable and trendable, but also what to do next, how to look out for ways to be able to minimize the contamination that comes into the system. And then if something happens to where there is an ingression, what do we do next? What do we do in the most cost-effective way, but also to make sure that the system isn't put into a compromising situation? Training and education is very important. And I think I take a lot of pride in this, as well as you do, that we have done, I think, a very good job of educating our customers, the end users, about contamination control. And it's a source of pride, because we really like to hear whenever we go to visit that they're in complete understanding of how to manage their systems so that there's less attention that's being paid on a regular basis to maintaining a system or recovering a system that might be dirty. When we use this approach on training and education to help empower the technician at the end user level, they really do a good job of being able to protect their systems. And as a result, it does translate into less filter elements being used on an annual basis because they're doing what they need to do, because they're educated on that. I think that is very valuable. You hit on that. We do a lot of training at the location. We also do training at the factory. Uh, I believe every time that we do visit the customer, we always have that in mind as training.
That's exactly right. And, you know, I love to see a customer take hold of fluid cleanliness and efficiently operating systems. You know, we've seen it several times where we've taken a long walk with a customer, maybe retrofitting or upgrading the filter elements or adding other equipment to really improve the cleanliness. And whether that's taking out dirt, water, or oxidation byproducts, varnish, or whether it's all three, you know, we stick with the application and the customer, and we help them understand the problem. And then when we deliver a solution that they can see and they get that wow of, hey, we're not replacing pumps and motors anymore, or, you know, we're not down. I mean, if we can save them 3% of their downtime, you know, that's somewhere between 9 and 10 full days of production. And depending on the plant, you know, that's millions of dollars, and that's really valuable to them. And so the other thing that's really great about our training and our education is we help them understand how that translates to them in bottom line profitability for their company. Because if you don't know how to catch it, it'll pass you right by. And, you know, they won't be able to quantify the value or get the recognition or demonstrate for their company, which may have 10 other locations, that they can really help drive profitability just with proper maintenance. And, you know, our colleague Curtis Skinner says that the filter is one of the least expensive components on a system, but it protects all the rest of them that are much more expensive and makes them last longer and makes them operate more efficiently. It's a really fun thing about what we do because we can have a big impact on the efficiency of our end users just by implementing the strategies that now, you know, have taken us 30 plus years as a company and hundreds of years of experience to attain. But it's really what makes my job, and I think most of our jobs, those of us who are in the field, very satisfying.
Taking that to the next step, when we are speaking to the customer about adding an offline filter skid or adding a filter cart, it's very easy for the customer to appreciate that we're not just trying to sell a piece of equipment, that there is a long-term planning in mind that we have here, that if we have a recommendation for adding a component or adding a system to your existing system, be it a kidney loop or a portable filter cart or even an inline filter housing, we do that with a reason that we're trying to manage and mitigate and control the contamination so that the overall total cost of ownership is lower. When we do this training and education and the customer sees what we're really trying to accomplish is this looking out for them first. When we do recommend adding something that there's a legitimate reason behind it, it's easier buy-in because it is, you can quantify it, and they do. There's a level of trust that we gain that we are looking out for their best interest first, and so it makes for a much easier relationship and partnership when they know that we are looking out for their production, like you said, 9 to 10 days a year doesn't sound like much. But if you break it down to how much profit per hour some of these facilities make, it can be millions of dollars that is not lost because they're still up and running.
Yeah, and it's always energizing for me to hear about the journey that a customer takes, and that's one of the things that I really like, and hearing about a new customer and says, okay, yeah, I was in there for the first time and I got to visit, and this is where they are. This is their starting point. And then, sometimes it can take a year or two where they go from, okay, they're talking to us, they're skeptical. Then we start that process of, don't believe us, just what we say. Let us show you, let us demonstrate it. And that's all a part of our cycle. And then through that demonstration, they start to believe and see, the value and how things can improve. Even if you take one system out of 5 and we say, let us show you, let's take on this one system, retrofit, put stuff on there, you buy the stuff, put it on there. And then when they start to see for themselves, hey, this really does work. Like, this one excavator never goes down. I can run it longer. It's trouble-free, for hydraulics and lube. So they start to believe. And then I think that drives the engagement. And then they move to a place where they just inherently trust what we're doing, and they begin to trust themselves that, like you mentioned earlier, they're empowered. And that's one of my favorite things is when we have a customer who we find a troubled system, we put a solution on it, whatever that is. We got a lot of arrows in the quiver to make things right. And then they see how that works and they feel empowered. And then I hear about it a year later where they come back and they did on their own, using some of our other staff on a different system and say, hey, look what I did. I've had those experiences at trade shows where an end user walks up that we've been working with for 2 years and they say, look what we did. And, you can see the pride that comes through with that and the satisfaction that they get, because it's a way that they can really make a difference in the reliability and efficiency for their company. So those are things that, filters, are they the coolest thing in the world? Maybe not. I think they're very cool, and I really love filtration. But it's when you see the successes that people have and how they're able to make a difference, by having the courage to try a solution and do something like that on their own, and then they get the result. And it's a great benefit to their company, but also for them, it's a great achievement.
And to add to that, I take a lot of pride in the distributor partnership that we have, and the level of knowledge and the level of commitment that they show regarding Hypro filtration products at the customer level. It's an extension of us. I think it really does make a difference, and they're very, very important in the entire process of having a partner for life with a customer, with an end user. That also includes the distribution network, and I think we have the best out there. Thanks for joining us today. Please stay tuned for more Hypro Factoryside chat episodes by following us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, or subscribe to our YouTube channel.